Now let me tell you a story which even sends chill down my spine. That was of some fellow named Ryan, and one of those I know well. That is a kind of wanderer guy constantly wandering here and there in his travel to unfamiliar lands. This day was some other night in the evening when he decided to go there because during his one trip he somehow stopped by a small desolate motel just near town limits. And Ryan entered the motel greeted by the receptionist, an old man whose hands were shaking while handing over the key. However, then this old man spoke something that gave Ryan a moment of pause. Stay in your room. No matter what happens, no matter what you hear, don't open the door. He laughed it off. Maybe that was just a local superstition or a trick to spook travelers. And he shrugged and took the key and disappeared into room 13. It was dark inside with a smell of age and mold from the old motel. The peeling wallpaper showed its age. The place looked as if nobody had been near it for a long time. Ryan was too exhausted to care. He locked the door, shut off the lights, and quickly fell asleep. And then it occurred. Around 2 a.m. a soft knock on the door woke him up. It started soft, almost whispery. He thought it was probably the wind or maybe the receptionist. No, the knocks grew louder, more insistent. Ryan, groggy but curious, got out of bed and walked to the door. "Who is it?" he called out. The voice was weak, pleading. "Please, help me. Let me in." Ryan hesitated. He peered through the peephole, nothing. But the voice came again, this time desperate. "Help me. I'm in danger." His mind raced. What if someone was really in trouble? But then that warning from the old man echoed in his mind. Don't open the door. Ryan decided to stay put, backing away from the door. The knocking stopped. But what followed was even worse, complete silence. Suddenly the lights in the room flickered. The windows were all shut tight, but a cold breeze swept through the space. And that's when Ryan felt it, someone breathing right behind him. He stopped breathing, turned around. In the corner of the room stood a woman. Her face was pale and her eyes were hollow with that twisted smile that made his skin crawl. Slowly she stepped closer, whispering, "You shouldn't have ignored me." Panic set in. Ryan ran for the door, throwing it open, but instead of the hallway he found nothing but darkness. There was no escape. The last thing he remembered hearing was the receptionist's voice echoing in his head, "Stay in your room." The next morning the motel was creepily silent. A new traveler was given a key by the receptionist and told seemingly on cue, "Stay in your room. No matter what you hear, don't open the door."